Sorry. Okay. So I'm not seeing anyone on the chat box actually saying how the program have been very impactful. Please, I want us to actually make use of that. Thank you very much, Precious. Super excited to be here. I really enjoyed yesterday's section and the one with Afua. Wow, thank you very much. Wow, thank you. Please, we need your feedback because for us to do something better after now, feedback is really very necessary. And there's that thing with the call about communication. So please let us know how far we have been doing. It's been greatly inspired by I've been greatly inspired by the training session, particularly the second. I'm learning a lot. Thank you very much, Benny. So while at that, I wanted to ask a question. So the question is, can you think of a time where you did something different from what everyone expected and it actually worked out? What gave you the courage to do so? So that's my question. Have you ever thought of ever doing something different from what everyone expected and it actually worked out? What gave you the courage to do so? Trying to do something and everyone is afraid to do it. No one wants to take the is it the hunts? So please let's try. Can someone give an answer to that? You can also use the chat box to make your reply. So while we are waiting for the response to the question, please, I would like Uncle Sal to give us a summary of our expectations, just to talk to us. Yes, thank you very much. And please, the attendance is already on the chat box, so you can do well to make use of that. Thank you very much, Kendi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
All right. So I'm supposed to do an introduction into what we are doing today. Is it?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to welcome everyone for showing up. I think this morning we will be starting way earlier than you, and that is because of how much we have planned to achieve today. Um, if you are here and you've been in this conversation so far, you know exactly what we're about, you know what we've achieved, and together we are going to do. So, what I'm trying to say here is that today we're going to have Jeff, who will be talking to us about a very important topic. And I'm really, really hoping that we all pay attention to what he's going to be delivering today. Our training session so far has been targeted at building people who are leaders, who understand the problems that their communities face and are able to use solutions that matter. Growing solutions to homegrown problems. I am particularly against ideas that solutions will come from somewhere else instead of from what is around you. So I will say that pay attention to what Jeff will be talking about today, because Jeff comes to this talk with a lot of experience. He's been with us for a long time. He understands over the years how the direction of talk has been. And I would really want you to pay attention to what he has to say. Later today, we are going to be... Wait, can you all hear me clearly?
I think the sound is faint. It's faint.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's because of... Can you hear me well now?
It's clear, very clear now. Yeah, very clear.
Good. So I want to say that today, Jeff will be talking about a topic that we all find really, really interesting. And what I want to say to that is, when he speaks to us today, please pay attention to him, ask your questions. We'll not only be listening to Jeff, we'll also be setting out to write our proposals. So later today, we'll talk about how to arrange your proposal and talk about what you really want to do in a way that will make sense to everybody. And I invite you to pay attention to that as well. My name is Top, and I'll be here listening in and taking notes and watching. In the end, I will make sure to talk about the proposals and give you the deadlines and tell you how we grade it. There is really no big deal. And you'll be able to understand what really goes on, how our minds work, and how we decide to reward and take care of the projects that we will be funding for the next 1 year. So please sit back, relax, and pay attention. And thank you so much, Chidera.
All right. Thank you very much, Usop. So today's topic is the courage to lead, taking calculated risk and challenging the status quo. And our facilitator and speaker for today's section is Jeff Levy. So I'll be taking his introduction. Jeff Levy is thankful for each challenge he faces. He loves solving problems and helping others put their time and energy to best use. Jeff has taught maths, English, and personal finance in East Asia, the Middle East, the South, North America. He guides his students in productive struggle and deliberate action. He enables them to chart their path of personal and professional growth by meeting students where they are and helping them get to where they want to go. He has also coached educators and business people to communicate more effectively and actualize high impact ideas. He's now working with Stride Learning, a personalized online education solutions that helps students develop essential skills. Easy Talk, a business English and cross-cultural communication coaching organization, and the Socratic Experience, an alternative school with a unique approach to virtual education. Some of his favorite leaders are Barwana Ali, Sivan Yari, Owas Cruz. He appreciates the opportunity to work with and learn from so many bright and promising people in the PFF community. So you see, he's really ready to work with everyone here. So please pay attention, ensure that your mics are on mute, and whenever you have a question, do well to use the chat box. I'll be taking notes. Thank you very much. Mr. Jeff, you can take the floor.
All right. Thank you, Chidera. Thank you, Sop. I'm very excited to be back. I believe this is now my third year, and the first 2 years were just a wonderful experience for me, both leading the day that I did and just seeing all of the great proposals that people submitted. I like to think of this as a beginning of a conversation. It's obviously great for the people who we choose, but even for those who aren't chosen when they submit their proposals, I think there should be nothing holding you back from realizing that proposal, from working to make it a reality. So I want to just first thank everybody at PFF, because there is just so much work that goes into an event like this, from our speakers, all of our staff, and just you for being here today as a participant. Yes. Then I want to start off just really mostly because I'm curious. Where are you joining from today? So if you could please put your answer into the chat. I'll also write the question. And we can share not only country, but also city or part of the country where you're in. I'm now in the U.S. And in the Washington, D.C. area. Okay, great. So from Nigeria, Zambia. All right. Canada also. Nice. Saudi Arabia, very nice. Okay. And I'll share just another question just to get us thinking for today. So once you've put into the chat where you are now, if you can answer this question, if you can ask any global leader one question, what would it be? What do you really want to know about leadership from the best of our leaders? Also, everybody can see my screen?
Okay, we can't see it now, Mr. Jeff.
Oh, we can't. Okay. Okay.
Yes, we can now.
Okay, great. Okay. Nice, okay. Secrets behind success. What does it take to lead effectively? How to build the systems and structures to help propel growth. Nice. That one's really good. How to handle criticism. For sure, a lot of people will be saying a lot of different things. Overcoming challenges. Nice. Okay. The drive. Maintaining momentum, dealing with challenges, all of the different things we need to be an all-around strong leader. Mistakes made. All right. Maybe also just what was learned from those mistakes. Okay. To be a leader for people, right? Okay. Nice. Okay. A lot of good responses. Thank you for sharing. You can continue to put your thoughts in the chat for this and just throughout. And we will have a question and answer session toward the end. So I will be speaking for approximately an hour. But yes, throughout this, I want it to be just a lot of participation. Okay. Don't think about this as a lecture, but as a conversation. And I'll also just urge you from today and hopefully from the other sessions, take away one big idea that you want to put into action, right? That you want to make, you want to try this, to do it differently, to do it the best you can, maybe for the next month, kind of the one big idea that you find most important and you want to implement, okay? All right. So yes, I am Jeff, and I have been an educator now for more than a decade. It's my 14th year, and I've done a lot of teaching, but then I've also done a lot of educational leadership. Been lucky to work with a lot of different great people, doing a lot of great things, missions that I really care about. That are not only professional for me, but also personal, and have helped me really to develop myself so that the people I can do my part to help the people who are around me do their best. Right. So first I'll just answer the question about leadership. Okay. Why become a leader, and why become a leader who challenges the status quo? So that for me is about, well, a lot of things we're lucky to have. There's a lot of good things, right, in life, in our community, in our family. I think we can all recognize these things, these strengths that we have. But there are always things that we see as problems, right? That we're motivated to change, that we know we want to put our time and energy into making the best that we can. And we want other people to be on our side, working with us, believing the same vision, working toward that vision, right? So, I always think, okay, there's something that I believe needs to be changed, and why not me, right? I can be that person to be the change that I want to see, to have people who are supporting this vision and people who really agree to the vision and believe in it. The second idea is courage. Okay. And courage is really about, okay, we have some kind of fear, right? Everybody has fears. That's just right. That's just part of being human. But we're going to act despite those. We're going to have a bias for action. We are going to take that step, and we're going to do what we need to accomplish, to take a step toward the vision and the goal that we have. Okay. And then I think this third important idea that I'll just start off with that we deal with is risk, right? Thinking about what are the potential losses. First, I think thinking about, okay, we have gains, right? We can gain something great in terms of the change that we create, but we can also lose, right? We can lose things that we value. So thinking about that, but saying, okay, this is important. This is just an important part of the process of growing and doing the things that we're confident needs to be done. Okay. Losses are unpleasant, but they're not bad because it matters how we react, how we go forward after them. Okay. All right. So today is all about strength in action. Okay. I think people can think and they can talk, but and that's important for deciding how we are going to take action. But ultimately, it is about taking action, right? That's what creates change. That's what helps us realize what we want. Okay. In that, I think about courage and action, not as something that needs to be rare, not as something that needs to be this big heroic feat, but something that is built in everyday decisions, everyday moments. It's really the collection of a lot of different decisions, a lot of different actions that we've done consistently to build something. All right. So going to go on to the next slide here. And through all of the slides, I am going to ask you questions where I want to hear your thoughts, right? So if you could be putting your answers, just what you think, either for you personally or just for people in general, what's important with these questions and these ideas, okay? So these three questions I have here, these are going to help, I hope, shape our discussion today, okay? So first, I would like to ask, whose lives are affected when we choose not to lead courageously? Okay. Whose lives are affected when we choose not to lead courageously? Okay. I'll also just put this into the chat. All right, so if we can share our thoughts on that question. Okay. So the people who could have benefited from the choices, the actions that we take. Other thoughts? Okay. Okay. The people who have placed hope and trust in us. Okay. Everyone? Okay. All right. So yes, I think with this kind of the more obvious answer is the people who we are looking to benefit, right? Who we want our actions to help, right? But I think the other piece of it, which a lot of us have mentioned also, is the person, right? The person who wants to take those actions, okay? Who has thought about it, right? Conceived it, but not acted on it, right? That's also very important, right? We don't want to live with regret. If we see problems, we want to strategize and then we want to act, right? You know, that's especially in some situations easier said than done, right? But these cases of missed leadership, that's something that we really want to say, okay, we're going to step up. We're going to act. We're going to do this thing. We're going to go through the difficulties, the unpleasantness, just all of that. But we're confident. We need to. We're confident. We know what we need to do, right? I can think of a lot of situations for me and working with students where I was told, okay, it is this way, right? The school leadership says it's this way. The parents said it was this way. The department said it was this way, right? And I just said, okay, it's this way. This is the way things are done. And I went along with it, right? Especially early on. And I think, I can look back at just several situations where, okay, this wasn't really in the best interest, but well, everybody wanted to do it this way, so it went this way, right? Okay, now this second question, all right. So we have here, why do you think some people resist challenging the status quo, even when they know it's not working? Okay. In short, why do people resist change? I think we can go at this from a lot of different angles, so I'm interested to hear what people think. Fear of the unknown. Fears, maybe very specific fears of things. What people may say, how people might act or react. Ignorance, there's things that they don't know. Maybe because of messages they've received. I think this one's very important, inferiority complex, right? People don't realize the power that they have, okay? I think other people have it and they don't, right? Old beliefs, maybe internalized beliefs that have become very central to thinking about who they are and what they can do. Okay. So really, what I'm getting from everybody is there's a lot of internal things, right? It's a lot based on belief and mindset and what we think about ourselves. Okay. Um, and then there's also the external of, okay, what are people going to do if I do this, right? Um, how would I face that, right? I think that fear of judgment, okay, what people are, how people might react, okay, how you think people will react, right? It's kind of a story in our head, right? That a lot of times, sometimes we're right, but sometimes it won't come true, right? Um, I think also sometimes people don't feel like they're in control, right? They don't have the ability to make the change. There are so many things outside of us that are determining things, and we can't. And I think a lot of times we have so much more power and ability than we realize. Okay, especially when we get other people on our side and they believe in our vision, right? Um, I think also just, and a lot of people touched on this, the comfort zone, right? Um, we've shown that we've done some things before, right? But we haven't done other things before. And it's a challenge, right? It's unknown. We just don't feel like, okay, this is something that I can do. This is something I can do well, right? But to be able to do something new, okay, um, that's I think the important thing here. All right. Then this last question: if you could help one person rise through your courage today, who would it be, and what would you do? Okay. So in short, who would you help if you had the courage? Okay. Nice. So I'm seeing people talk about their community, people within our reach. Says the people who we already know, already are connected with. Okay. Like this kind of like narrowing down and thinking about who really are in our community. Okay. A specific subgroup. All right. People who have become part of PFF. I like that. Okay. In my experience, sometimes I think that people who are already very close to us can often be difficult to help. Um, there can be a lot of fears just around that. And, I can think of people in my family who, I've wanted to help, but I thought, um, what if it goes wrong? Right? Um, I start imagining kind of scenarios where things didn't go well, and it stopped me from acting, from being there for people who really need me and could help, and I could help. All right. So I want to emphasize just this, what I think is a very important idea, that courage is relational, how it impacts others, not only ourselves, right? We think about like our courage and the courage that we have and the courage that we show. But so much courage is really for other people who we care about, for a certain group of people who we want to help, right? So I think, to say, okay, this is bigger than just us as a person, but we can, if we do this right, just have this bigger impact, right? That improves relations between people and improves things for people. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to here next. This is, I think, when I think about fighting the status quo, creating something that's good and important that impacts people, I think about this central idea. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to act while afraid. Okay? I've often heard the idea, really throughout my life, we should fight our fears. We should overcome our fears. What I've learned is more fear is just part of the human experience. Okay. Everybody feels fear, experiences fear. But even though we have this experience, are we going to choose to go ahead to take action, right? Are we just going to kind of live in our minds, right? Or are we going to live taking action while we are still afraid? To me, that is real leadership. The consistent dedication and action despite the fear that you're feeling. Okay. I don't like this idea of, we have fearless leaders, right? They don't have any fears, recognize their fears. I think we should use those fears to think, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what's important to us. Okay. So with that, I'll ask this question about a small fear that you've faced recently. Maybe related to this idea of leadership and taking action and defying the status quo. A small fear that you've faced. Okay, public speaking. Loss. Yeah. That's been a big one for me. I've thought, oh, well, if this doesn't go right, this is what could happen. Okay. Failure, not having the success that we want, how that would feel or the consequences of that. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you for sharing. I think that's one of the tougher questions where we really have to reflect on ourselves. Okay. All right. Now I want to kind of go through, I'll go to the next slide here, just 5 different things that we need to do to be courageous leaders, to get past the status quo, to really realize and create the change that we want to see. Okay. All right. So our first one here, okay, start with purpose, clarify your why for change. Okay. You need purpose in order to give yourself this important direction. Okay. when I think about this, so I've done a lot of work with personal finance, especially helping people to kind of go from they're at this place of kind of 0 to 1, that kind of initial step and initial success when they haven't had success in that area before. Okay. So why is that important to me? I think, when you're doing something like this, you need to have a really personal reason. Okay. Something that is about your experience and your motivation. Yeah. So I think for me, of, okay, the people I know who have been close to me who haven't had that, right? Who haven't had kind of the basic financial security that they need and the impact that that has had on all areas of their life. And to see just the positive change that that has had once they're able to just establish that good baseline for themselves. So that for me is just a key thing that I have been able to help people with, that I see the huge value in helping people realize. And just when people have been able to do that, just the difference that it does have in their life. Okay. So to get you thinking about this, what is your why? Okay. I want to know what deeper purpose or belief is driving your desire for change, and how might your actions look differently if you're fully aligned with that purpose? So try and think of the most fundamental idea for you, your deepest purpose. I think this can be really hard, and it could be about things that we don't like, or things that we do like, right? Things that we don't like and we want to overcome, and things that we do like and we want to help create more of. Okay. So just seeing the status quo is just not something that we can live with. And so we have this opportunity to make it different. And if we have the opportunity, why not use that? Other thoughts? I'm interested to hear what people will say about this. The purpose that's motivating you to create change. Impact, okay. We can all have a positive impact to change what we know needs to be changed, okay. I'm interested kind of more specifically, what kind of impact on that? Okay. Well, people can continue to put in the chat some of their ideas. I'll go on to this next part. Okay. Assessing the risk, thinking smart, and not leaping blindly. Right. So, we've all seen, I think, people do things that are reckless, that weren't thought out. Right. And we need this time to really plan. Okay. What do we want to do? Why do we want to do it? What's our overall vision? What's our next step to get there? Right. To always just be thoughtful in our actions. Right. So, this is about thinking, okay, what can go right? What can go wrong? What might make things go right and what might make things go wrong, what's within our power to do to change, right? And what would happen if things go right, okay? So, I think about this with, okay, if I'm, starting some new class, right? Um, you know, what could that do for people? Um, you know, or, okay, if people decide to be part of it, okay, what would they lose if, it's not time well spent? All right. So I'll ask this question just to get us thinking about this. Um, if you can think of a time, either from an example of somebody who you know or a personal example, when people took on maybe something that seemed risky, but it was a success. Okay. And what made that smart rather than reckless? So yeah, this idea of assessing the risk, um, the things we already know, finding out the things we don't, and using that to think of all the things that might go wrong and could go right. All right. I will go on to the next part. Okay. Stepping into discomfort. Okay. So, yes, and growth lives outside of your comfort zone, right? So the things that you've already done and have been successful, okay? Well, you want to realize some new, big, important change. Of course, you're going to do things that you haven't done before. Step outside of what you know. All right. Yes, with this, feeling uncomfortable, we generally associate with, okay, that is a bad thing, something that we don't want, right? And sometimes discomfort, of course, is showing us that things aren't right and we need to avoid things, right? But when we have taken on something that is very important to us, that is a challenge, but is a challenge worth doing, discomfort can actually be a sign that we're growing, right? And something that we need to embrace and something that we need to work through. Okay. So thinking about what is comfortable to you, I'm wondering what's a comfort zone that you have that you want to challenge? What's a comfort zone you want to challenge? I think about how when I was younger, I did this with public speaking. The fear around that, but I kind of said, okay, I have that, but I'm going to do this anyway. And the first couple of times I just, tried to lean into it, but didn't get the result I want. And it took me time, but then I did develop. It grew to be in my comfort zone. Right. Right. So yes, I think for a lot of people, I'm glad we highlighted this idea. Doing what's comfortable when we have important work to do, and we know the work that we should be doing, right? Something I think that we face every day, right? Kind of that decision. We have a lot of choices, but are we going to choose to put our focus into the things that we've committed to doing? All right. So yes, like feeling this urgency, okay, I think is very important. Um, we think, oh, okay, this is something I want to do at some point, but the question is always, why not now, right? Um, why is now not the right time? And so thinking of, okay, now is the time. What is the step that we're going to take, right? All right. So this next part, speaking our truth boldly, okay? And when we run up against ideas that, are not what we believe, challenging gently but firmly, okay? Um, so this is really about, okay, we want to get to identifying a problem and what we're going to do for that problem to solve it, right? We need to be honest, right? We need to be honest about what we believe, what our intentions are, what we see as the things that everybody needs to do, what needs to happen when things aren't going to plan, right? But can you, when people don't align, can you frame that honesty as kindness, right? Can you challenge things and people respectfully, right? Whether there are people who do have power and are in authority, or people who aren't, right? Um, yeah, I can think about many times when I said, "Oh, okay, this isn't right, but is it worth it that I challenge this?" Um, and a lot of times I just chose not to challenge it, right? But I think it is important, right? Okay, this is something that matters. This is something where we we know is not right and it needs to change. Like we feel it in our gut. So how are we going to create that conversation, right? Um, Speak what we really believe, even though it could go wrong, um, and use that to start a discussion where we can align and work toward change with people. All right. So with this, I will ask the question, if it's possible to challenge somebody in power and still be kind, okay? And how does that look? And what does respectful honesty look like in difficult conversations? I get people's thoughts on this. Okay. How do we challenge somebody from a place of kindness? How do we still show that respect when we're in a challenging situation? Hard things to do well, but very much necessary if we want to change the status quo, right? All right. Well, I'm going to transition to the next part and still encourage people to share what they think on that. Okay. So this next and last part is about lifting people as you lead, empowering others on the journey. Okay. So thinking about with your leadership, how are you building people up, right? Thinking about all of the people who are working to make this happen, what kind of impact do you want to have? What kind of impact are you actually having? Are you getting the right feedback from people, right? This isn't always about kind of being nice with others, but it is about showing that you care for others, that caring comes from a very genuine place, right? That it's not only about just the mission that you want to accomplish, the problem you want to solve, but it's about the people also who are doing it with you, and their wants and their needs, and what really matters to them. Okay. I can think of a leader when I first started teaching, the vice principal of the school, who I appreciated because she had a lot of difficult conversations with me about things that I needed to improve so that I can have the impact that I want. And I appreciate that she was very direct with me, that, she understood what I wanted for myself and wanted for my students. And she told me what I needed to do in order to become that educator. Right. So with this, I'll ask, who is somebody who has made you feel stronger or more capable, as this woman had done for me? And what did they do that had that impact? So think about somebody who was this for you. And then with that, of course, taking that lesson and thinking about how you will become that person for others. Building people up through the things that you say, the actions that you take, how you do it over time, how they see you, and if they want to become like you. So we can share in the chat just who are those people for you? Who are they? What did they did? And why do you think they had that positive impact on you? Okay. So about helping you build skills, being consistent with the encouragement. Right. Seeing people sometimes who have had similar challenges and successfully overcame them, right? And the mindset that they had. The old leading by example. All right. Nice. Okay. Now I want to just transition to some principles, okay? 4 things that I think, especially if we want to fight the status quo, that we must have, okay? That needs to be part of our mindset and our actions, right? So number 1, I think, is having integrity, okay? Just character, showing that character, especially through challenges. So we need to have courage with integrity, okay? And my belief is if you are not acting with integrity, you may be not trying to empower, but trying to manipulate, right? So it's very important, I believe, to think about what are your values, what's driving you, are your words and actions consistently reflecting those, right? And do you have the courage to be not only having those ideals, but acting on those ideals, okay? Next, the idea of impact over ego, okay? We can either just think about, right, kind of things from our ego, right? Or we can think of things from our impact, right? What's the effect that it's actually having on others, or just maybe the negative or unpleasant emotions that it has caused from ourselves to ourselves, but putting that impact to the forefront. Okay. Probably we've seen some examples where people are thinking about ego rather than impact, right? They're not coming from a place of purpose and just alignment with the mission, even if it is their own mission. So I'll ask for some examples of this, okay? If we've seen somebody lead from ego rather than purpose and what that has looked like. All right. While we think about that, I'll go to this third idea of listening to learn. All right. I think a lot of the time as not speaking, but actually listening as being the harder skill, right? Because listening, we're making that effort to really understand a person, their motivations, their goals, right? And in the case of leadership, we're looking for just alignment with what we want and what we want to do. So I think of listening as just the beginning of trust building, right? We need to model effective listening in order to build the relationships that we need to realize the things that as a group we want. So always modeling that curiosity and humility just through all of our conversation. Okay. All right. And then this fourth idea of progress, not perfection, right? We have in our mind a way that we want it to be. And, we probably can't do that overnight, all right? It takes a series of consistent actions, okay? But we can't think of, okay, I'm not going to do this because it won't be perfect. It won't be exactly as I want, okay? To think about small steps of progress, okay? We'd rather go out and do it and have a little bit of progress than just do nothing at all, right? The idea of small steps, okay? Perfectionism, I believe, a lot of time really comes from a place of fear, right? We need to get this right, or these bad things are could happen, right? But really, this is about what we do consistently, okay? How we are consistently doing a little to move ourselves in the direction of what we want and helping others to to do that too. Okay. So I'd like to ask everybody, out of these four, what's one that you most want to develop and why? So what principle do you want to develop and why? Which is most relevant to you? Okay, I'm seeing some good reasons here. We need some of the earlier principles in order to realize some of the other principles. Okay. All right. Keeping our word, saying what we, doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. Okay. Consistently making progress in the direction that we want. Okay. All right. Great. It's interesting for me to hear everyone's perspective. Cool. All right. Going on. So an idea that through the last slide, I think we really hit on a lot, but I'll still just explain kind of my thoughts on this. I think of trust building as something that we do every day, all the time, and need to do consistently, right? But I think of it as, oh, well, every interaction is an opportunity in order to build trust, right? So, what does it take, right? So I think it's these three things, okay, to build trust. First is honesty, okay, truth telling, regardless of the situation, whether it's uncomfortable, easy, hard, whatever. We tell people what we really believe, what we know to be true. Okay. Second, commitment, another thing that was already touched on through our comments, right? Building the credibility by doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. Okay. Showing that we're always there. We're always there for people. We're always going to be working toward what we set out to do. Okay. Even doing things when we're not in maybe the best place or feeling the most motivation, but we still take that consistent action. Okay. And then this last one of respect. Okay. Listening attentively, right, to everybody. Especially people who are thinking or leading things differently than us, right? That are doing things or are sharing things that, we don't align with, but looking for those places where we do align and still giving them and their ideas just all of the proper respect. Okay. So with this, I will ask, what's a way to build trust with somebody who's difficult or in a difficult situation? How do we build trust maybe with somebody who we have this challenging history with, or we think of them as a challenging person? What do we do in that case? All right, so first seeking to understand, okay? Knowing where you stand, sticking to those things that are important to you. Letting people know who you are, what you believe, what you really think. All right. Okay. All right. So I want to now talk about, okay, this last piece about risk. Okay. When we are deciding how we are going to take action to challenge things, to create the change that we want, okay, how do we evaluate the risk that we are undertaking? Okay. So this is my approach, which has worked well for me. And yeah, take it, adopt it as you think it will work for you. Try things out. So first is about clarifying the goal. Okay. To get very clear, very specific, and have a good way of communicating it. Okay. What is the purpose, right? What does success look like? Okay. How will you know that you've achieved what you want to achieve? Okay. How is it defined in terms of action, and how is it defined in terms of success? All right. So this is really thinking about the people who you're trying to help, right? Thinking about, okay, if I have done the things that I want to do, what kind of a place will they be in, right? Okay. Second is evaluating the impact, thinking about what might improve. Okay. This is okay. Well, everything goes right. We've achieved all that we want. Okay. How has this changed people, right? How has this, been what we want? Okay. So that's the good, right? The next thing is the downsides. Okay. Um, what is this going to require? And okay, things don't go right along the way. What does that look like? Okay. What are the things that might derail us? And how would we deal with those? Right. Thinking about possible things that can cause it to not go right, but also even worst cases and what would be our response to that. Okay. All right. And then this last part about thinking about our response. Okay. So, what will you do when things are going right? And what will you do when things are going wrong? Okay. That second part is what we're usually thinking about, right? Okay. If this doesn't go as we planned, what would we do? Okay. But also, okay, so we do achieve what we want. what are we doing because of that? Maybe to keep it going or to expand on our success. Okay. All right. So I would like you briefly to think through what is a decision that you're facing. Okay. An important decision, maybe just in general in your life or in something that you're leading. Okay. And what would be for each part of this your thought? Okay. What is the goal, impact, downside, potential downside, and your response? So that's kind of a lot, but maybe just to start off with clarity around the goal. All right. So I hope that everything with today's discussion has helped you to be thinking about what you want to do for your proposal and how to make that proposal the success that you want it to be. And just thinking about in the things that you're leading and the things that are important to you, the problems you see and the solutions that you want to realize. What do you need to do in order to make those a reality? Okay. With that, I just want to share my contact information. From past seminars, I have connected with people who I'm still in contact with, and I've really learned a lot from them, and also just help them a lot with things that they've done and are important to them in their communities. So I say that let this be the start of a conversation between us. Maybe there's some way, big or small, that I can help you, or I can introduce you to an idea or a person that would be helpful for you and the things that you want to do. So yeah, let this be the start of a conversation. Know that I'm available for any questions, requests, mentoring. So be courageous and ask for anything that you might need. And yes, I very much want to just leave the door open for anybody to be in contact with me anytime. My email, my LinkedIn are here, and my number for WhatsApp. And I very much would enjoy hearing from anybody and everybody. So yes, I'll also put this into the chat here. I think I'll. So it's just easier to have here. Okay. And to the last slide. Okay. I think a key idea that just I want to leave everybody with, you can't go through life allowing other people to define you, right? You need to take the actions. You need to have the courage to do what you know is right, right? To be bold and talking about problems that you see and proposing solutions for them, and realizing the change that you want to see, taking the consistent action. Okay. So with that, I'll just leave you with the idea that courage really, it's not about the titles that you may have, but it's the decisions that you consistently make. All right. And thank you all for your participation today. I really enjoyed hearing your thoughts, and yeah, let this be the start of a conversation between us. And good luck with the proposals. I look forward to seeing them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeff, for that wonderful section. Like, I don't think anyone is appreciating Mr. Jeff really enough. Please, drum rolls. His session was really, really engaging. Like, everything was on point. Like, he at some time is asking questions, is answering them immediately, and I really, really enjoyed your section, Mr. Jeff. And one thing that stood out for me was the principles of leadership you were able to share with us, where you said integrity first, impact over ego, listening, then finally progress, not perfection. Like, it's something for us to listen to ourselves and take redress just to make sure that we are taking one step. We should stop looking for perfection. Oh, we have not gotten it right. Let's start from where we are. So thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful section. It was really, really impactful. And thank you also for granting us access to reach out to you anytime we want to reach out, especially when we have problems. It's really, really, it's timeless for us. It's really something that we cannot. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll be taking one question because of time. Is there anyone with question? Just one question, because Mr. Jeff have really been very engaging. I'm taking a whole lot of questions. Any question? Okay. No question. Okay. Okay. The attendance is on the chat box, so please let's do well to go there. Piloya, Barbara, please, you can unmute yourself so you ask your question. Barbara, you can hear me, right? Unmute yourself. Okay, yeah. We can't hear you, Barbara.
Thank you so much. Hear me now? Hello.
Yes, you're clear now. Yes, you're clear.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you so much, our facilitator, for giving us a very wonderful presentation. I really loved it and learned a lot. My question is in regards to somebody who is really very hard to deal with, difficult to handle, and then you're also trying to maintain your integrity, because to me, integrity stands really out among the principles of leadership. So how do I then maintain such a person that is trying to make you compromise that very principle that stands out, which is integrity, but also keep up with them, the relationship? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good question and a very tough question. I think a very difficult thing to do. My first approach to that would be to ask them questions, right? Ask them just questions from a place of curiosity to find out, what matters to them, why they have done what they did, and what they see as what they want, really, and then to look for places where you do agree, and then just be clear on where you stand, what you will do, and just the way that you want to help or benefit them. Other questions?
Thank you very much. That's really helped me as well. So since someone else then wants to go again, because there's still little time for that. No other question. No other question. Barbara, you want to ask another question? Go ahead, please. Quickly, please.
Well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Can
can.
someone? All right. Thank you. I understood the first question very well. It was elaborated. And but again, this is, I think, I don't know if this is going to be out of the discussion, but still in regard to leadership. Uh, I always strike a balance between balancing my leadership and then my career. How do I balance the both? I am a lawyer, yes, and I want to focus in the law, but as a leader, there is a change that I'm supposed to make as well. So how do I strike a balance between the law and then the leadership? Because I find myself drawn most times to the leadership than the law itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's a very difficult balance to strike, right? Because we have laws, we have rules, right? We have ways that their things should be done, right? General kind of social expectations, but we may believe, right, and have good reason for believing that those aren't the right way, or they are just not aligned with our values, right? So, what do we do in those situations? I think that that's very challenging, and I don't think that there is a straightforward thing that's the good thing to do. I do believe that we need to just within the law or the rules or the way that things are done, look to something that we believe we have the power to change, and then form a plan for changing that. Right? Think about what we're going to need to realize that change, right? And yeah, think about the work that needs to be done and try to do that. Okay. And to have a plan, right, where we've set aside the time, the energy, the resources, and know the right people, right, to make all of that happen. Of course, a lot easier said than done, but I think about it as being clear on what we want to change and how we think that we can make that change.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeff, for that response. Thank you, Barbara, for your question. It has been really helpful, even on my part. So thank you. So next, we'll be calling on Kusop to please come and share with us on our writing and submitting of our proposals. Like this is more like we're going into the next phase of this whole boot camp as leaders, and like Mr. Jeff has really explained, taking the courage to do what others cannot do, right? And who are the beneficiaries? They are the ones who are losing. So if we are able to come up with something that has a greater impact in society, it's a big win for us as a community as a whole, right? So Uncle Sal, please um, come and have this section. So thank you.
Hello.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome again.
All right. Thank you so much. So, Jeff, I like how you led the conversation in a question and answer format. And I really appreciate that because that gets people involved in producing the material as well. And I actually listened and learned a lot. And I want to speak to Piloya's question because of she mentioned she's a lawyer. I have a bias because I also happen to be one. And I want to say that an act of leadership starts from a person, which is part of what we are trying to achieve by creating this program. Yourself, ordering your life right is the very first step to be a leader. Then secondarily, the actions you are taking to help other people in your community. Let's say you are doing, you are trying to do community cleanup, for example, or you are trying to get children to have a means that they can go to school safely. That action itself is not removed from who you are as a lawyer, too. Just being a lawyer is one part of who you are. You are a human being, you are an entire person, and you don't have a single story. And so the question of balancing who you are with the task you want to do is good, but I want you to think of it as a whole story about yourself. It's not just you are not in compartments. Your whole coming together makes you who you are. And I see that, and I also see that Moses Nweke has replied some of our messages trying to reach out to people. And what I would say is creating the ability to reach out to people is good, but what we want to do, and what we want to achieve is that you're able to reach out to people that come here. Ask Jeff questions, go to his DM, send him a message on WhatsApp. Ask Kimani questions, ask me questions. I'm very reachable. I'm not like a celebrity. You send me a message on WhatsApp, I'm going to reply that. And I want you to, if we achieve anything from this conversation, let it be that you know how to plan yourself and be able to incrementally improve your life. So we are not here to blow tomorrow or whatever. Let's say you finish school today, you finish university today. I want you to have a plan that every day you will incrementally make yourself better. You are learning a new skill, you are earning more money, you are building on your relationship, and you are coming closer to the career you want. Take, for example, if you are somebody that has wanted, I notice one of our attendants here, Oluwatosin, has been talking about sustainability, for example. She's been saying, I want to do something about getting a clean environment and making a place look really good, green. I don't like how they are walking in a place and all that. If you are somebody like that, what would you do? Let's say you finish university, there is no support for you in Nigeria. What do? I don't know anything about sustainability, but I want to do sustainability. I want to help my community. One thing you can do is to attend events like this. But once this event stops, that is when the action starts. And that's what Jeff is saying when he's referring to the comment. You remember him saying, this is the start of the conversation. It's not about the event, it's about doing something from what you learned in the event. So now that we have finished this event, what do? You stand up one day, walk around your area and see if, for example, if I place places where people can throw away dirt on the road, maybe it will reduce the idea of people drinking water and dropping on the road, because they know very close to this and that place is where I can drop an empty water bottle or an empty water paper or whatever you use in drinking water. In Nigeria, we drink water in sachet, right? So you can create places where people can drop those on the road. And then you begin to do sensitization in churches. And then you go for more events, get ideas on what other people are doing. That's the point of an event. You network with people, you talk to them about what is your plan. You get funding, clean up your streets. Get the people around you, tell them, everybody contribute to 200 naira. Let us sweep the streets today. Everybody street sweeping day. Who knows? You tell one day walk up to the Ministry of Environment or Commissioner for Environment or whatever and tell them, I have ideas to make this place better. See what I have done before. And in today's world, you don't even need anybody to tell your story. Put what you are doing on the internet by yourself. Put it on the internet. Let people see that somebody somewhere in Oyo State, Osun State, Enugu State is taking action in cleaning up the environment that they live in. And if you are looking for money to help you, the Leadership Impact Fund is a very good one to start with. And that will bring me to our conversation today. I want to talk about the proposal that we have. That is the ILB proposal that Jeff has been alluding to. The ILB proposal is a proposal for people who are looking for money to set up a small leadership event in their area. We don't want you to cure cancer with $100. If you can, no problem. Why? I doubt it. I doubt you are going to cure cancer with $100. I doubt it. But if you want to do something small that is around your area, that is why this money is for you. That is what it's meant for. And so Afua usually talks about this, and I don't know if she's on this call, but if she's not here, I can do the same. You don't need to worry. And so I will take your questions after. The Impact Fund is for people who have attended the Leadership Bootcamp. So if you just see this on the road or somebody shares it to your WhatsApp group and you apply, you will not get it because you didn't attend. We want it to be for people that attended. And so it's $100 that we are giving out, and it's funded by people in PFF, like me, like Jeff, like Afua. We just gather money together and give some people to do something in their area. And so this year, we want you to submit your proposal on latest the 5th of July. So what you want to do, tell us about it by the deadline of the 5th of July. If your proposal is good, we will call you for an interview. We usually call people for an interview. We talk to you about your proposal. We say, how do you want to do this? We know that sometimes actions and what is written down don't come together. And so there are people that their project required us to give them more than $100 because we now thought this is really good. Let's see a way to make this happen. And so, yeah, the only thing we ask is that you implement the project by the 15th of September. The reason for this 15th of September is to enable us put it in our socials and say this person did this project, and then we can use it to close the year. You know, that's just the reason. But please do the event by 15th September. We want your project to be clear. That means just say what you want to do. Don't speak too much grammar. Don't say believing in the, no, just tell us what you want to do. We don't care about the couching it in very big words. Tell us what you want to do. How do you want to do it? I want to buy 100 spoons. I want to train 300 people on how to. I want to do this. Tell us exactly how you want to do it. Don't explain why. Don't tell us why. We already know. Anything you want to do, we already know why. Don't worry. Just tell us how you want to do it. So clear strategic plan of action. Tell us when and where you'll be doing it. So there are people that have really good projects, but it looks vague because there is no place. I want to do a leadership training for children in my church. My church is St. Molumba Catholic Church in Zaria Road, Jos, Plateau State. And I'll be doing this on the 14th of August, 2025. Now that's something. I will invite my brother and my sister who are lawyers and doctors to come and talk to children in this primary school about how to do this and do that. You see? And something like that, as simple as that, I've talked about the specific beneficiary group. I've talked about the location and the time frame, and I've talked about the strategic plan of action. And give us a fully costed budget. Don't say everything $10, $5, $3, and everything will match to $100. Because we are Nigerians like you, even if you are not Nigerian, let's say you are from South Sudan, we also have South Sudanese people on our team. So we already know what things cost. So make it realistic. We know. Don't worry. We already know. And it's very easy to figure out what things cost where. So
Tell us exactly what things are costing. Don't reduce the money so that you get the $100 and raise more money later. Even if it's a part of the project you want to fund with the $100, no problem. Just tell us. Be very truthful and clear. And we don't want you to do something for people who are 50 years and above, no. Or 3 years to 5 years. No, it must be between 11 and 26. We want that young age group. Why? Because we believe that these are the future. We want to catch them young. You get it? So let your project be targeted at very young people and young adults, 11 to 26. It must be age appropriate, and we don't care where you are going to be doing the program. You can do it in your church. You can do it in your community, your mosque, your field, I don't know, school, wherever you want to do it, we are okay with that. So see how the budget looks like. We say participant name. You tell us your name. Project title. You say the title of this project is so and so. Your estimation must not exceed $100. So what you want to do will be within $100. So we say, what is the item? You write exactly what you want to buy. What would your expenses be? How much have you budgeted for this in your local currency? So if you are in Ghana, you put the amount in cedis, and then you put the amount in the USD. And then you just tell us the percentage of the entire budget this will be. So take, for example, somebody wants to do a project on providing menstrual pads to women in primary school or secondary schools. You say item, buying the parts themselves. What is the cost? 50,000 naira. What is the USD equivalent? Maybe $50 or $45. I don't know. And then you say, what is the percentage of $100? That's just 45%. Very straightforward, because it's $45 of $100. And so just straightforward, no difficulty at all. It's very plain. We want it to be as easy as possible. Now, this is where you do some writing. If you do numeracy and then you come to literacy, this is also what we offer children in less than 11. So you tell us your name, what you've titled the project, when you want the project to start, and when the project will be ending. So obviously, these two dates must not be later than 15th September. So you now answer, did you complete all 5 days of training? Yes, no. If no, why? If you say no, you didn't complete all 5 days, you can tell us why. Like Abdul Razak now that says network has been logging him out, you can say why. But we really want you to attend all 5 days. Then you tell us how much everything will cost. If what you are trying to do will cost less than $100, that's also very good. Let us know. We can give more people more money. So we now want you to write a problem statement. What is the problem you want to solve? My area, like if you are somebody that wants to write something on sustainability, we always have people dropping dirt, dustbin, everything around my area, and I want to solve that problem. That's something to describe. What evidence have you found? All around me, I see it. You can cite something, and you can say what your personal experience. So we will believe you if you state your personal experience. Clear strategic plan of action. Just explain what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you want to do it. If Jidra wants, we can share what she wrote to everybody. I don't know if she wants us to do that, but yeah, I think what she wrote was really good. Very, very good. One of the best.
So you can share it. It's fine.
Okay, cool. So that's one of the best we've ever seen. And we will share this document with you in the group page. And Francis will make sure of that. We will also share examples if you want. But that is exactly what it is. That's how proposals are written. We are hoping that when you learn to write this one for us in PFF, you will learn to write more grants, apply for more grants, apply for more opportunities from this. There is no big deal. That is even the point of making this. When Afua developed this, by the way, So the reason we did it like this is that we wanted to bring out what people will see in very big grant papers and all that, just to demystify it. There are some people that want to apply for scholarship, and then when they see all the questions they will ask them, fear will catch them. They'll be like, oh my goodness, they say I should do this. Yeah, when you do this one, you have enough confidence to do that one as well. And that's what we are hoping that you will achieve with this. So tell us the clear strategic plan of action. One good way to do this is to answer the questions that are on this part. So if we say specific location, my project will be done at so and so place, time frame on the 14th of February by 5 to 6 p.m. Very straightforward something. Specific target beneficiary group. The people that will benefit from this are children in primary, in JSS3. I like primary school children because they are the best, but yeah, JSS3 to SS1. Then research findings as content ideas, you can just, and we added that one for some razzle dazzle, just sprinkle things on top if you want. Yeah, that is literally all there is to it. It's not a difficult thing. And if you are so lazy, you can't write this 2-page something, you don't deserve to be given any money. That's just the truth. You are not serious. You shouldn't be too lazy to do simple things. After all, we are saying just write something. Writing this thing won't take you up to if you really sit down to do it, it won't take you up to 2 hours. And somebody is saying I'll potentially give you $100 for something you can write in 2 hours. I think it's a fair deal. And the hard work is in the thinking, and that's what we want to force you to do. We want to lead you into that thinking. We want you to actually think. Because when you start thinking, you start being aware of problems in your area, things that you can actually solve, and how you can be an instrument for solution. That's it. There is no other way to solve the problem of leadership in Africa if Africans don't begin to become leaders. So that if randomly they make you president of your country tomorrow, you won't be like the people you hate. Those people you hate, they didn't manufacture themselves from hellfire. They didn't Satan didn't release them. They were there, your brothers and sisters. They became presidents, governors, and became really evil. But we hope that if you become a better person, you behave really well. If you get into positions tomorrow, which you will get into, you will become a better person next time. And I that will give me hope for a future where African children can thrive. And yeah, that's it. I hope it's very simple and straightforward. And I will just leave some time for you to ask me questions on this. Is there anything you need me to clarify? Go ahead. If you have any question, raise your hand or type in the chat. We'll hear you out. And yeah. And I want to say that we will invite everybody for a gala. That gala is where we give the award. We'll invite you back. Say, come and hear the people that actually won the award. We'll invite you back, trust me. And that day, it should have been put here. Let me see. The date that we'll be inviting you for a gala is usually 2 weeks from the date. Francis will communicate the actual date to you guys in the WhatsApp group. But I think we were looking at July 11th. Francis, are you on this call? Let me see if it's here. I think the time we are looking for will be July 11th, I hope.
No. It won't be July 11. It should be by the end of July, maybe 30th, thereabout, because 5th is the date for submission. That is the deadline. 5th July is the deadline.
Right.
Why we have to give the
2
facilitator
weeks.
some time
Oh,
to
yeah.
grade it.
You're absolutely right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So we will be meeting you guys again on the weekend of the 25th or 26th of July. So yeah, nothing to worry about. Don't worry. Thank you, Francis, for telling me what I should do. Yeah, it should be, yeah, he's absolutely right though. There is no physical gala. Don't worry, everything is online. So whether you're in Uganda or wherever you are, don't need to worry at all. Don't bother. You will be in the gala because it will be virtual. And I want you to know that we've also funded projects in Uganda. We've funded projects in Sudan. We've funded projects in Kenya. Omondi. It's Omondi on this call. Omondi was our winner last year, 2 years ago rather. And he's always been Omondi is on this call. Maybe he'll tell us about his experience. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you send us the proposal from. So I had some people raise their hands. I have 3 people raising their hands. Let me ask you to unmute and I'll take your questions. It's really a simple process. I hope it's very simple. So Stack, yeah, go for it.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Uncle Sob. Thank you so much for the program that you guys organize. I've learned a lot. Also boost my confidence.
Good.
So based on the proposal you talked about, you made mention of dates. You understand? Right. That you should put exact date that you want to in your proposal. So yes. I want to ask, probably you have not concluded on the date. Is there any way you can say from this date to this date you are expected to do it in your proposal?
Yes. Now that's a very good question. Obviously, we know that the dates are not cast in stone, but just project a date for us. Okay. Just give us a projected date. But we don't want it to be vague. No, it's not something you will do very soon, you know. Okay. Just put a date for us. We want to hear the date. A projected date, very good. If we now do the interview with the selected people, part of why it takes us 2 weeks to mark is that in this 2 weeks period, we read all the proposals. Usually there are about 20 of them, but you really need to read it and check the ones we can fund. We now do a meeting. Sometimes we have seen there's a year, last year, literally, we had so many good proposals. We just didn't know what to do. And so we wanted to fund only 2, but we had to fund like 5 of them. And even the remainder, we spoke with the people and said, let's help you make this project happen. And we worked with them to make their project happen because they were just so good. The people had a lot of things they wanted to do. So my point is that we usually do that meeting and then we will invite you to tell us what you are doing so far to make that project happen. Okay. And then if you show us that your mind is in the right place, we can work with you for sure. So yeah, give us a projected date.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. That's all.
Yeah, Kane, go ahead. Yeah, Kane, I want you to ask me your question.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, how are you?
Well done, sir. Thank you for the lecture over and everything. So my question is the program that I'm planning, we started working already, holding online webinar and want to make it physical. It's for tertiary institution students in my hometown. And the plan is that we are going to make it physical in December. Because that's the period whereby everybody will be around, most of the tertiary institutions today. Is there a way you can help us work it out? Those of us that we are still in session and the program is, and the time band that you gave us is September 15. I don't know if there is a way we can work around it, if I can see send my proposal, sir.
So if I hear you correctly, what you're telling me is that you have a program that is currently going on and there is a plan to physically make it happen in December. So it's like running like a series, but it will be on in person in December. Is that what you're saying? I think. You can raise your hand again. Let me find you because you just fell off the. Okay, well, in case he's no longer here, if that is what he's saying, then I would say just send us the proposal. Let's see if we can work something out. We'll really okay, yeah, there you go. There you are. So you can unmute yourself. Is that what I said?
Okay,
Is it
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the program is already
Yes, sir.
happening and you want to get more funding to support creating it in December in person.
Yes, sir. We've been doing it virtually. In a way, we've been inviting people from different places, but we want all our students to see that these people that we are talking about, that we've been bringing online, that they are really part of us, that they've done some stuff successfully. That's the reason why we are planning to meet physically. It's just for sensitizing them. A lot of them in my own time, this is the end of everything. That there are still secondary school students in my own town that believe that there's no way they can come out of poverty, that there's no way they can be successful in life. We are planning to work around bringing we have a lot of people from my hometown that they are already outside doing well. They are doing fine already. My plan, I started the application for all the tertiary institution students in my hometown. I started this year, last year December, and since then I've been working around with my team, and we've been doing online sessions monthly. And not only that, we've reached out to some elders and they are supportive, they are helping. But I want more than that. I've been trying my best. If there's a way that we assemble all the students, will assemble in a place and we'll have panel session. Not only that, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know if I'm going beyond the normal question. But
No, carry on. We have
hello, sir.
time. We still have 3 minutes.
Okay. I'm planning to make it physical in a way that we'll have panel session. Not only that, we do little encouragement by doing a little quiz, mathematics quiz, and maybe other science quiz too. I've been working on the proposal already, but since I heard about this foundation and I've been listening to all the people that have been talking, I've been learning a lot. It has changed my perspective of what I'm planning to do. That's the reason why I'm asking this question. If there's a way, if there's going to be extension beyond September 15th, that's my question, sir.
Okay, so we already have something called See Your Future From Now that is looking a lot like what you're talking about. And so we can work with you to create your event. So I want you to write the proposal. Put everything you are going to do in the proposal. Like tell us, you can go beyond the 2 pages if this is not enough, but we have one whole empty space for you here to do whatever you want. So don't make it too long so that we can read it. Just tell us what you want to do. Very likely what we'll do with you is that we'll work with you to make the project happen. Where are you? Are you in Oyo? Where exactly are you going to be going
I'm currently in OAU camp, in OAU, currently studying at OAU.
Oh, good. So where is your hometown?
My hometown is Ilora in Oyo State. Ilora is a small town in Abide local government of Oyo State.
Where in Oyo State is that?
It's part of Oyo town. Like Oyo State is divided into 5 zones. We have Oyo, Ogbomoso, Ibadan, Oke-Ogun, and Ibarapa. Ilora is part of Oyo. It's part of Oyo.
We are doing
There's
a project in Ogbomoso. We have a base in Ogbomoso.
Okay,
so if we can work with you. So just send us the proposal. Let's see what you can write. Write it very well so that it will be worth the time. And then we will continue the conversation from there.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So Prince, tell me, what do you want to say?
Okay. Good evening, leader.
You can just call me Sop. Yeah. Uncle Sop, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. First, I appreciate your contribution to the younger generation. The bootcamp has been wonderful.
Right.
The bootcamp, what want to say, I think this is the first bootcamp I've ever enjoyed compared to others.
Oh, good.
The simplicity, the engagement, and other activities. So kudos to your effort
Thank you,
and
Frank.
your team. My question is, in that proposal, you said that the beneficiary should be at the range of 15 to 26 years.
11.
And then it's 11 to 26 years. And it
Yes.
should be, the proposal should be based on the issue of education and leadership.
Yes.
That is what I'm seeing in the proposal. But in the
Yes.
course of your discussion, you said that the proposal can be targeted at anything that has to do with impact. For example, you cited that someone may decide to embark on community sanitation, like
Yes.
community cleanup. So which one do I take? Because I don't see a community cleanup to be, I know we have health education that a clean environment promotes a good health, accepted.
Okay.
Now, ability to also coordinate people, which is a leader and a follower, to do to do the community exercise, that is still leadership. So now let me come in with my own pattern. I am very good when it comes to agroecology. That is the current trend of agriculture, or generally, let me say agriculture. Let me not even go to agroecology. Now, how about if the proposal come in that angle that we want to train a younger generation of how to make food security and sufficiency? Is proposal accepted?
Okay, so I like you for asking the question, then answering the question, so I won't worry about that. Let me now go to your actual question, which is whether the proposal will take in things that have to do with food protection and ecology. And the answer is yes. If you display leadership and your leadership is having to teach people, young Nigerians, how to grow their own food on their own soil, I don't see any reason why anybody will not accept that proposal. Because that's you displaying leadership in teaching a country self-sufficiency. And this is a big problem we have. We have a lot of land in Nigeria, but food is still expensive. There is so much land. If you are traveling from one part, I don't know if you're in Nigeria, but I expect you could be. There is so much land, but people are still hungry. It doesn't make any sense. You grow the crop, grow the soil in front of you, make food. At least in Africa, food should be the cheapest thing that we can have. It shouldn't be that expensive. The fact that it's expensive and we have to import palm oil, import things that are literally right in front of us does not make any sense. So if you display leadership in that area and you want to teach 20 young people, want to buy seedlings, I don't know how you want to do it. The important thing is for us that you display that leadership and you take people on that path to understanding how they can be sufficient in themselves. I think it's a good thing.
Okay, noted, sir. Noted.
All right.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
All right. Gabriel.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Hi. Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful life transforming experience and everything thus far. I actually wanted to ask specifically on leadership and education, and also introduction to ICT. So I've been actually doing it for quite some time with children in schools, majorly from JS1 to like SS3. So for me, this if I should emerge as one of the winners, for me, this grant will actually go a long way because I can actually reach out to more than a school. So I wanted to ask, is my project supposed to be focused on a one-day stuff, or it can actually run between 2 or 3 schools? Just wanted to ask.
So beautiful thing that.
Yes, sir.
Where are you?
Okay, currently in Jos, But my project actually runs in Gashaka, this in Taraba State, one of the remote communities close to Cameroon as it stands. Yes, sir.
Okay, what I would say to that is so when we went to Oxford to present our paper on our work with on the funding we got, we ran into somebody that is called I don't know if Gideon is on this call, he can help me remember. There is an organization that does work with people, connect them to computer. I've forgotten the organization, and they told us to speak to them. My point is that one of the things that proposals do to us is that we see people that is answering an area of need that we are still working on. And then if you are somebody that is thinking in that light, we just deputize you and use you to do the project now. Like there is no need to waste time. Like everybody that you see in PFF, nobody is being paid. From Jeff to me to Francis to even our host, Chidera, even though we've not inducted her officially. But now she's an appellation of PFF, if you like. But we do work with people that have very forward-looking ideas. So my point is write a proposal and send to us. If you can extend $100 to the point that it serves more than one community or one secondary school, that would be really good. But write a proposal and send to us. It may even lead to something else. And one good example is that 2 years ago, we got a lot of proposals that talked about using menstrual pads as outreaches to young girls. And that's what we wanted to do with that morphed into the African Women Leadership Forum that Chine, one of us, is heading now. And that project is now currently in its second year, but it's being funded by Forward, which is a women leadership organization in the UK. And so just from the proposals that we got an idea that led to AWLF that is currently in its second year in partnership with Forward. So my point is send us very good proposals. We're interested to know where it will take us to. But what you're saying is something that we're already thinking of, but we don't know who can lead that project. If you're a sensible, very motivated person, then you can help us make that happen. But yeah, I don't care how many schools. If you want to reach 1 million schools, just make sure the costs are correct and you are not selling bubble, so to speak. Right.
And I don't know, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, concerning our project, there is a space for the name of the person. I don't know if I was thinking maybe there are maybe partner names, like people that I will work with attached to, or just my name there.
You can put as many names as you like. As far as you that is the lead person is attended the bootcamp, we really want you to attend because it won't be fair if there are others here and we use the money and give to somebody who didn't attend, you know. So just use a name that we can recognize in our attendance sheet.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Dunsin. Olua Dunsin, do you want to tell me anything?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, sir. And thank you very much for organizing this wonderful program for us. And straight to my question. Currently, I'm a core member serving in Oyo State, Nigeria. And it's till next week that will be allocated to our various primary place of assignment.
Right.
And I'm also passionate about public health, particularly on smoking prevention and being a public health advocate. So, and my plan is on influencing other core members so that we can organize a smoking cessation campaign during my stay in Oyo State. And by reaching out to secondary schools and educating students on the associated list to smoking, so that they can avoid smoking and all that. So now, given that my state of origin and all that is not Oyo State, I'm asking if it is not also at a point for me to present a proposal. I don't know if you understand my question, sir.
Okay, so where you are from, when we ask that question, we don't care what your state of origin is, actually. We just care about where you want to do the program. So that should not worry you at all. I would just say that you should send us the proposal. As far as you give us a sensible budget, we would be glad to do something about it. And we have a really big presence in Oyo State already. So who knows? They may even send you to us. But yeah, whatever. We would like to hear what you have to say. Just send us the proposal. We'll be glad to have it.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. So I will take two quick questions. We're a little out of time, but this is just, I'll call it denouement. So Iswell, what do you want to say?
Okay, I want to ask if it's possible to change in submitting the proposal, because I actually sent an email
Okay.
with the problem that I've noted, and I've actually been working around the issues of girl child and education. So I don't know if it's necessary that my proposal has to be what I sent in the email, or I can have a change.
No, you can change it. This name, where is this name from?
It's English. The way you say it is well,
Oh, okay.
that's basically it's well. Yes.
You have a northern accent. It's either you are in northern Nigeria or you are not.
Yes, I'm in Plateau State,
Oh,
Nigeria.
yeah. I figured the name sounds like that. I used to live in Zaria Road, actually in Upper Staff, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Iswell, you just have to write what you want to do in this proposal. Use this format. Francis, we send it in the WhatsApp group. We also send it to your emails that you used to register, so you don't need to worry. Yeah, Titus.
All right, thank you, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
My question is, I'm currently an undergraduate, and I'll be writing my exam next month. So we'll be going on a long break. Basically, most of my projects I do carry those out here in Naingba, Kogi State. But I'm going back to Kwara. The aim is to educate secondary school students. But I want to ask, like, I don't know where I would be by August from August to September. I might be in Lagos, I might be anywhere, but that doesn't change the fact that I can carry out those programs in those areas. So I just want to ask, like, does it matter if the location I put on my proposal is different from where I actually carry it out later? That's what I just want to ask, sir.
The reason why we want you to put where you want to carry out the project is so that you can tie yourself to that place. So I would really advise that you tell us where you want to be and think about it fully. I'm hoping you are not, you don't sound to be the richest woman in Nigeria. So it means that you can actually budget your time very well. So just think of where you will be at the time you are going to be doing the event and use that time to write the proposal. All right, Benny, tell me, what do you want?
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
So, I want to greatly appreciate you for the opportunity to actually be enlightened and inspired to lead through this boot camp. You caught my attention when you mentioned that last year there were lots of proposals centering around female menstrual hygiene, especially on the issue of menstruation and menstrual pads. I was fascinated. I am involved in that. I'm a member of an organization that advocates for that. We do two things, two key things.
we educate and we empower them. So we go about educating girls about menstrual hygiene and how to maintain good menstrual hygiene, and then we empower them with some menstrual products.
Right.
So this year we carried out some outreaches last year. We went to 3 schools in Oyo State, secondary school. I was physically present at one, and it was very it was very impactful. I'm a boy. I'm not a girl.
Oh,
So me
good.
being such
Thank
an
you for that.
organization was me being such an organization was quite weird for many people. It was also weird for me, but when I thought about it, I am as a medical student, those kind of things do not really. I don't have such biases. So I was trying to. I was like very instrumental in helping to debunk myths and stereotypes surrounding menstruation. So it was really impactful. So this year we went to a different environment. This one is involving some people that were children with disabilities. So
Right.
they are not like children that are physically sound per se. We went to a correctional center at Oyo State, close to the Oyo State Polytechnic. Yes, so that was close to Ibadan Polytechnic. So when we went there, it was like we wouldn't even be able to communicate with those girls, but they understood. It was, they even learned better than the people who went to the primary school. So it was so nice. But there is a very huge problem we are trying to solve. We understand how women need menstrual products. That's like a very important need. I think the WHO, I don't know if they've done that. They list their menstrual hygiene products as one of a very critical health need. Just as we need things like inhalers for people with asthma, we need tissue paper so common. We need even products as common as toothpaste, for instance, that women need often. So the burden on us is that we do not know how we are advocating, right? We're advocating our own little way, but we still have a huge burden of trying to drive policy change such that these products the price is going to be reduced, so that women can actually get this thing and maintain good menstrual hygiene. So that was just the burden. We empower them, but we do not know how to make it continuous. We empower them not as if what we give them is going to last them forever. They might use it for a time, but then they may also now be in need of it sometime later in the future. But one of the best things we do is the education. When we educate them, that's going to go on for life, because we've really kind of corrected some perceptions and mindsets in them. So they will really be enlightened when we educate them about it. So that's it. I was thinking of also writing a proposal for the organization is called FHS. It's Feminine Hygiene Support. Feminine Hygiene Support. There are a few boys there. We are almost 4 and about maybe 13 girls that are part of it. We are like students, per se. So I was thinking of writing a proposal for the organization so we can carry out more projects. But we actually I love the part of education, but I'm not so glad about the empowerment aspect because we have not found a way to make it continuous. But we are trying to see how we can work, maybe even partner to drive policy change somehow. We do not know how we can do that. So we can reduce the cost of those materials. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how you can do that too, but I'll just say that there is nothing to be ashamed about helping our women and girls. They are our sisters and our mothers. Like you literally have them in your house. So that is not a that's not a mountain to waste time on. A second thing I will say is if you want to write a proposal, write it, we can support. But I know that Chidera did something that is on reusable menstrual health products or something. Is that correct? And there is somebody that I think I know that did something on that. And so the key in sustaining charity work is not the point. The point is that by the time people know how to run their country and themselves, they will fix this problem. charity work is just a bandage on a hand that has been decapitated. It's not going to help much. The real solution is for people to change their government and elect normal, sensible human beings. And so I would say you can do what you can, the much you can, until you no longer have funding. If you have more funding, you continue. But again, I don't like the idea of charity work continuing forever. That is not the point. The point usually is to make sure that people can solve their own problem and become sustainable. So yeah, that's what I have to say to that. I will look into the chat. I have not looked into the chat. Somebody has asked how many pages should the proposal be? The pages are not something we waste time on, but we want you to write something that we can read. Make sure it's like 2 pages or something. The gala is going to be virtual. The certificates will be sent to your mails. We'll use the names that are in our attendance sheet. The proposal sample will be sent to the WhatsApp group and maybe to your emails as well. Please fill the attendance sheet. And yeah, I am going to be closing today's meeting. I will stop sharing. And I want to thank you, Chidera, for being a wonderful host. Do you have anything else to add? Otherwise,
okay. There's no other thing to share.
All
just
right.
to tell them that the document will be shared on the WhatsApp group for them to, and even in their emails as well. So they should
All
just
right.
follow.
All
Thank you
right.
very
So
much, sir.
on that note, we want to thank everyone that's been a part of this African International Leadership Bootcamp. And I will see you in a few weeks from now when we'll be hosting the gala and be inviting people who won. And yeah, go be the change that you want to see in the world. A big shout out to Lester and Francis for the big work they did behind the scene. This would not be possible without their very, very clean planning. Like Francis and Lester did a really, really awesome job of ensuring that all the speakers had time to prepare. The program is planned months ahead of time. Sometimes by this time, the people that will be speaking next year already are aware and are preparing. So I want to thank all the hosts. You guys are wonderful. And you that participated, I want to also thank you. Without you, this would not be sensible and we will not even have anybody to talk to. And yeah, on that note, I wrap up this event, this wonderful evening, and I will see you in a few weeks. Please go be leaders, make a difference in the world around you, and thank you very much. Bye.